Hey traders, how we doing? This is Mitch from Beginner Trading here. Just really want to start going over on how you can really recognize, are you committing trading errors and how you can fix these errors. The real questions that you need to start asking yourself is this the trading process? Is this trading errors, or is this just probability? Like always guys, everything in trading a lot of the times is going to come down to realizing what our stats are and reviewing it. So the first thing we need to do is look at the problem. The stats and the results are not matching our approach. So what's the problem? As traders, we all get in ruts. This is going to happen to you. So one of the key skills is really going to be recognizing when we've fallen off track, when our stats are not matching our approach. So the question, is there trading errors here, or is it just probability? You really need to find your common trading errors and find what works for you. Is your trade viable? Are you taking the correct trade? Do you have the right risk to reward? Are you getting the right entry? And is this trade even viable to start with? You need to get back to your strengths and processes that really work for you. If you're really going to be a great day trader, you need to work those systems out and get back to your strengths. Because in the end, your results will start matching the approach if you start executing your strategy and your approach. Like everything, if you trade your trading system and you continuously execute that, you'll see consistency in the system, thus giving you the right results to match your approach. The first common mistake that I see a lot of traders make is not holding to the plan. When you don't hold to the plan, we don't establish that right risk and reward, and we're not sticking to those points. What this does is this creates an inability to create consistent results through your trading. You lose the ability to make it back on the same trade, and you also lose the feeling of being comfortable in your system because you lose the confidence. With no confidence, you don't hold to the plan, thus creating stressful trading, which will then negate yourself to making yourself open to the market information, and then you make the wrong decisions because one, you either be indecisive or you won't hold to your plan here. And that indecisiveness is really what gets you to not hold to your system. Like here on a trade on Cron, you really need to just hold to your system. Like everything, if you're not holding to your trading plan, what ends up happening is you cut your trade short right when you had your winning trade, and then that's when you don't want to be going towards that next level. Another thing that we need to consider is our willing to the trade. We set the expectation of winning or losing. We only are going to set ourselves up for failure. The one thing that's promised in trading is that nothing is really certain. So the only thing that you really need to focus on is what's going on with the price. We start tying our emotions to our trades, and we start wanting, wishing, willing, or even hoping that the trade is going to go in your favor. This is really not the way to trade. We're not in this game to really wish anything or hope or pray. What you want to be doing is taking a process approach every single time you take a trade, because if not, it will come back to hurt you. So you can see here on this chart on HTZ, if you go long here in the 1940s and you set yourself a stop to get out at 1935, you need to be getting out there, because if not, next thing you know, it's dropping down past your price point. You take a bigger hit than you were supposed to. Why? Because you're expecting a win, or you're pushing the levels. The second common mistake I see is traders that trade outside their strategy. I can't stress this enough. This is gonna, one, cause impatience. Two, it's gonna start taking away from your edge. And three, what ends up happening is you start trying to trade with the current market. You go short when the market's short, long when the market's long, and you get outside your strategy. You start taking away from your mathematical advantage, and this is gonna hurt you in the long run. You got to remember that you need to build a consistent approach to get you consistent results. The only way to do that is to stick to some kind of system, because if you don't stick to that system, you're going to start seeing inconsistent results. And that's what we're trying to avoid here in the first place. So when you trade outside your system, what ends up happening is you take away all that edge and you start giving it back to the market. This is what we don't want to do here, guys. You can clearly see here on the trade on UXIN, I shorted a chart that I normally would long, and the way you do this is you trade outside your strategy. Stick to your strategy. It's going to help you in the long run, guys. And the last thing, of course, guys, we can't rush towards profit. I can't stress this enough how many times I've seen traders rush towards profit and ruin their profit to loss ratio. The whole thing we're trying to work here is a mathematical advantage. And if you lose that edge by rushing towards your profit, taking the 1-to-1 trade when you know you should be going for a 3-to-1 trade, is you're going to push yourself on so much accuracy that you're going to ruin your trading plan. You know, a lot of a trading plan has to do with risk management, and risk management is not only on the risk side. You have to understand that risk management has to do with how much am I willing to risk to get the reward that I need. And if you're not getting that reward, we're rushing towards the profit, and thus killing ourselves on the mathematical advantage, on the potential to bounce back on the day and get ourselves in the green. Why? Because we set ourselves in a mathematical advantage. So what are the solutions here, guys, and how can we really fix this? You know, when we're trading, we need to know our rewards. You know, this trade in NIO here, I saw the breakout here, I got greedy, I should have just focused on my profit and got out there in the 62s and 64s. But what ends up happening here was I pushed the limits, and when you push the limits, you don't take the profits that you deserve, and you don't take the profits that you set out for. So what are the workable solutions, guys, and how are we going to get around this? Solution 1, we need to get back to our process. So know your strategy. Go back, review it. You know, number 2, understand the risk versus reward. Always know what you want to attack. Is it a 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1? Right now I've been working on 4 and 3-to-1s, and they've been doing great for me. You know, 3, we need to use those key levels. If we're not using the support and resistance, we're going to get ourselves trapped in the wrong trade. Another thing is, stick to the plan. Number 4 is so vital to you. If you stick to your plan, at least you're going to have the right risk and reward and the right risk management. So solution 2, guys, we need to get back to our strengths. If you have some guns, stick to it. You know, if you have some good strength, find what works for you. Rinse, wash, repeat. Rinse, wash, repeat. Find something that you can do in and day out and that will work for you. Visualize this trade, see it in the pre-market. I literally close my eyes and I can see these candles fading. I can see that VWAP bounce. I'm ready for the open, and that's the only true way to take advantage of that plan. You know, at the end of the day, guys, the solution 3 here would be, remember that you don't always need to know if you're gonna win or lose on any one trade. Just focus on taking the trades, on executing your plan, and that's really gonna get you through a workable solution for your common trading mistakes. Always going back and working on something that will create a systematic approach to trading is always going to do you better in the long run. You know, this is the true one way to becoming a profitable trader. There's no one winning pattern. If it was one winning pattern, I would have found it and I would have kept trading it. You know, you got to use a systematical approach, because when you're trading, you will really bring that consistent results that you want to see in your system. You know, you need to create a trading environment where you're trading from a probability mindset. Have that right mentality, know what you want and when you want to take it here. And also, you need to get yourself in the green by using the right risk to reward ratio, whether that be a 3-to-1, a 4-to-1, whatever works for you. You just need to go ahead and find what works. And always, if you learn and go back, you'll find out that if you stay in the process, this is what really gets us as traders back to our winning ways, is focusing not necessarily on the errors, but how we can improve from our errors and get ourselves to sticking to our plan, not trading outside of our process, and not rushing towards profit. Like always, traders, definitely stick with beginner trading. I'll definitely be here tomorrow. Let's go ahead and trade.